So yesterday was Women's Day and we continue to celebrate excellent women in this country. Tonight we talk to Yamkela Makupula, who is the CEO of Diaz ReusTarg or DRT Africa. She leads the Africa Growth Strategy for the global law firm. She's been recognized as one of South Africa's leading businesswomen. She's worked with African governments in solving issues of US sanctions, the flow of investment in Africa and the issue of land for South Africa's traditional leaders. Currently she's on the Ministerial Advisory Committee for the Minister of Health and Minister of Social Development on COVID-19 social behaviour. Makupula is passionate about economic participation for young people, for previously disadvantaged people and women. Well, Yamkela Makupula joining us now. Ms. Makupula, congratulations firstly on all your success and hopefully there is so much more. Does it ever hit you that you've achieved so much in spite of being a woman, or has that not been a major obstacle? Tell us your journey.
Francis, thank you so much. Well, I mean, it's been an interesting journey. And I think when you go through it, you don't even think about it. You know, it's when you have to reflect in days like this that you realize that it was not easy. So, you know, growing up in Queenstown, you know, in the Eastern Cape, I only moved to Johannesburg in 2016. So I grew up in the Eastern Cape. You know, that's where I studied. And then I was then with PwC PricewaterhouseCoopers in 2011 when I had just come from an IT industry. So I've been with companies like Dimension Data and a couple of others. And I think that's when my life changed, when I joined PwC, because, you know, there I was in this audit firm and I come from the IT industry. And I knew that, you know, I wanted to grow. I want to make partner sooner, quicker, and in the highest high-performing way. And there's a couple of things that as a woman, when you have then set your sights so high that you have to start looking at, and some of them might be certain sacrifices. I mean, you know, to sit in bed at 1 a.m., you're responding to emails. No one is asking you to do that, but then it becomes part and parcel of that growth in corporate, because you have to work 10 times harder because, number one, you are a woman. People look at you, they're thinking that she probably doesn't really know what she's doing. I used that to my advantage, because then every time I came into a room or I took over a PwC business that was not doing well and I changed it around, people would be like, wow, you know, because there are people that, because they're a woman, they don't expect that of you. Yeah. So I always say to women, take that, use it to your advantage, because they become 10 times celebrating you because they never expected you to achieve some of these things.
So I love that. I love that, the surprise factor. Did other women help you along the way? And what do you think about the whole debate, whether there is enough solidarity amongst women themselves?
Well, it also depends which sector you're on. And I always say to young women that you have to be very realistic. You know, I mean, I know for me in the audit sector, if you look at some of the top executives, because, you know, when you want to grow quickly, you need to look at mentors that are going to assist you in doing that, not just by helping you doing your work, but advocate for you, get to know you, assist you with your journey. And in most sectors, unfortunately, Francis, they're still very much led by men. So I also feel that it's unfair for us to say that women are not supporting each other when they're not, most of them, in powerful positions to support one another. You know, most women are still fighting their own personal journeys in these corporates. They're still trying to make it. But for those that have made it, it always pains my heart to see a woman that then is looking at the younger generation, thinking that, oh no, they've had it easy, so you know what, I will not support them. But on my side, I have been supported by quite a number of women. You know, there's a lady by the name of Popo Kumalo who was with Ernst & Young at that time, but I met her through the Black Management Forum, and that's another thing that is important. You have to expand yourself outside the firm. Go and join most of these organizations that have been put there in order for you to be supported. So I got a lot of support in the firm. I got a lot of support. I mean, there was a lady that was leading diversity and inclusion strategy for the firm, Nana Matikane. She had my back, but I'm not going to lie. I relied on most men. You know, because they were in powerful positions. The person that was consistent in supporting me every day in my career was a gentleman by the name of Jacques Abes. He was, you know, my partner, because in most of these cases, you need someone that's going to go and advocate for you, because most people, they don't know who you are, they don't know what you're about, but there's someone that you work with that knows exactly who you are, and you need that advocate.
So we're running out of time, but there's still so many women's issues. You are passionate about transformation across the board. Women facing other issues as well, the pay gap, gender-based violence, and in the midst of the pain, so much pain in this pandemic, are you fearful that those sort of issues are being put on the back burner at all?
I actually think that what the pandemic is bringing quite a lot of awareness. If you see that during the lockdown, we had no choice but to realize that most women are being abused. And today the president announced that the fund that's going to go into women's businesses, because government also sees that if we leave half of our population at home, then we won't be able to give people jobs. We won't be able to expand this economy. And gone are the days where the economy was only an economy of certain companies. They have to be multinationals. They have to be led by men. Now, the time COVID is saying to Africa, if you do not transform, if you don't bring women into the table, and women have a very unique style of leading also. And I always say we're not leading against men. We're leading with them, but we're bringing a certain flavor that is not there in that boardroom. And you know what? Stats have shown us that businesses that have made sure that they've got at least 25% of women in their boards, last year they did earn 20% than their counterparts. So that alone speaks volumes, and governments across Africa need to focus on that.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. So inspiring just speaking to you, but of course challenges remain. That was the CEO of DRT Africa, Yamkela Makupula.